Welcome to this week's video blog. I'm Tim Weigle. I'm with New York State IPM program. It's the first week in July 2017, and we're starting to see powdery mildew on berries out in some of our Concord vineyards and other vineyards as well. It's more than we're typically seeing at this time of year, and so what's going on? We go out and we look. Some of the heavier canopies or vineyards with heavier canopies tend to have more out there. Growers seem to be using good materials. The spray intervals are pretty tight. They seem to be good. So what's going on? How can we tell if we're really doing a good job of getting the materials and the timings out there? There is a tool out there. It's called NEWA, the Network for Environment and Weather Applications. It's found at this website here, newa.cornell.edu. If you access this, there's weather stations. There's 13 weather stations right now in the Lake Erie region. There's many more across New York State, but you can pick a weather station that's close to you. You go to that station's homepage and you click on grape diseases in the pest models, and you will come down. If you scroll down to the bottom of the grape diseases page, you'll see that there's a grape infection event log, and it'll tell you what's going on for the infection periods for Phomopsis and black rot. From the information that this gives us average temperature during the infection period as well as total rainfall. So with powdery mildew, the primary infection, we know that we need a 1/10 inch of rain and temperatures of 50 degrees Fahrenheit or more for primary infection to occur, which we had a lot this year. So we can match up our spray records with our infection events to tell whether or not we actually had our timings. Did we miss some of these infection events or not? So we have powdery mildew out in the vineyards. What can we do about it? Well, the good news for Concord growers, unlike vinifera growers, the berries are still susceptible. Vinifera varieties, typically the berries will lose their susceptibility about 4 weeks after flowering. With Concords, it's about 2 weeks after, since we had Concord bloom June 12th to 13th. We are good to go. The Concord berry should no longer be susceptible, but the foliage is. All right. Research done by Wayne Wilcox showed that unless we're in a severe overcrop situation, we shouldn't have to worry about foliar infections of powdery mildew and Concords. It's not going to hurt the Brix accumulation. So that's just kind of a heads up to watch last week's podcast where Dr. Terry Bates was talking about crop estimation. Next week we're going into that 30 days post-bloom, the great time to look at crop estimation, figure out whether or not you need to thin. You can do the crop estimation. If your crop's a little high, but you want to keep it, that just tells you that, okay, now maybe we need to do something about the powdery mildew on the leaves, try and keep our leaves cleaner a little bit longer to make sure that we're able to ripen that crop. For resistance management, we don't want to use some of the better materials that we've used before, the ones that are prone to resistance. We want to use some of the contact materials like the bicarbonates and the peroxides. And if we'd gone a little bit earlier, we could have used oil, but the old standbys, copper in Concords, sulfur, we don't want to use sulfur in Concords because it's phytotoxic to Concords, but that's the type of materials you need. Nice thing about powdery mildew is it's kind of a naked disease. It only goes in one cell, so it sits on the surface and you're able to knock it down pretty good. Good coverage is essential because it has to contact it to take care of it. So go out, check your vineyards, see what your powdery mildew level is. Make sure you do crop estimation to tell whether or not, number one, if you need to thin, and number two, if you need to do a little bit more management for powdery mildew to ensure you ripen your crop. As always, if you have any questions or you have some ideas of what we should do in the next podcast, feel free to leave it in the comment section below.